TV.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. I would like to call the meeting to order, but I cannot. We only have two members of the select board on right now, Amy and I. As soon as this third one comes on, which I believe we're waiting for. Nope, it's Norman. Good evening, Mr. Khumalo.
Good evening, Brandon. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Hi, Amy. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Bob.
We have confirmation that Irfan, Brian, and or Mary Jo are coming to the meeting.
I just spoke with Mary Jo a few minutes ago. She indicated she will be joining the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not gotten any information contrary to Brian or Irfan showing up, so I'm assuming they'll all be here.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
My dog just ate a whole pizza. I gotta tell my wife, hold on. All right, do we have, nope, still waiting. Where are these guys? Let's see.
Yeah. You're muted, Brandon.
All right, we have our three members on, so I will call the meeting to order. As a preliminary matter, this is Brendan Tedstone, Select Board Chair. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present, can hear me. When I call your name, members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Irfan Nasrullah is not on yet. Hold on, I just got a text. No, not from him. Brian Herr. Mary Jo Lafreniere.
Here.
Amy Ritterbush.
Here.
Good, that's three. So we have a quorum. Additional speakers. I'm sorry, staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Norman Khumalo.
Here.
Elaine Lazarus.
Here.
Additional speakers may include Vasuda Duda and Christian Franklin. If there's anybody attending who would like to speak during the public forum of the agenda, you must notify the meeting host in advance. You may do so using the raise hand feature of Zoom. I request a motion to enter into executive session.
Don't move.
Well, hold on. Pursuant to Law, Chapter 30A, blah, 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 to consider strategy with respect to the collective bargaining relative to DPW, police, fire, and library unions, because an open meeting discussion may have detrimental effect on negotiating position of the board, and to allow Norman Khumalo and Elaine Lazarus to participate in the discussion and to reconvene an open session at the conclusion of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, how do you vote? Mary Jo Lafreniere
Yes.
and Amy Ritterbush?
Yes.
Tedstone, yes. So we will get out of this. So if you are not going to leave this completely, please stop your video and mute yourself. Thank you.
No, come on.
All right, so we've got Amy, Brian, and I. All right. All right, this is Brendan Tedstone, Select Board Chair. Permit me to confirm that all members are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Irfan Nasrullah, don't believe is on yet, but he did text me saying that he was on his way. Brian Herr. Mary Jo Lafreniere. Okay, Mr. Herr is here. Mary Jo Lafreniere. Amy Ritterbush.
Here.
Tedstone here. This is an open meeting of the Hopkins Select Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with the Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we're complying with the executive order that suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. All members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The executive order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely as long as the public body makes provisions through adequate alternative means to ensure interested members of the public are provided reasonable access to the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. For this meeting, the Select Board is convening by video conference via Zoom webinar, as posted on the town's web meeting calendar and the board's agenda, identifying how the public may join. Additionally, the meeting may be also broadcast by HCAM through one or many of its channels or platforms. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and some of the attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that others may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. We're now turning to the first agenda item. Before we do so, please permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will invite board members to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in dialogue with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Not every agenda item will feature public comment. The public forum portions of the agenda, the chair will work with the meeting host to call each pre-registered speaker to make their comment. Each speaker must begin by identifying their name and address. Each speaker will have up to 2 minutes for their comments. Please use the raise hand feature of the Zoom now to indicate you'd like to make a comment. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's see. So I don't see anybody that has raised their hand. So we are going to move off of public forum. Consent agenda. The board will consider approving the consent agenda consisting of an acceptance of a gift of $3,000 to the police department for Officer Brian, that's a Scribner's error, Sanchioni, and Titan from Hometown Heroes, and accept the resignation of Beth Kelly from the Hopkins Historic Commission. Board members, would you like to break any items out for separate vote?
I'd like to break out the second item.
Okay, I'll quickly break out the first item. So for the first item, I would like to thank Hometown Heroes for the generous donation of $3,000 to the police department and for Titan. In a time right now where, society seems to be pretty much against everything that the police are doing. I certainly appreciate all the accolades that they're giving and the recognition for the hard work and wonderful work that those guys do. So thank you very much to the Hometown Heroes. Ms. Ritterbush.
Yes, I just wanted to say I first met Beth Kelly in 2014 when I was appointed to the Historic District Commission, but I know she had served on the committee for a very, very long time before that too. And she really cares deeply for the Common and the Historic District, and we're going to really miss her perspective on that board. But anyway, and she was the chair of the Historic District Commission when we approved the certificate of appropriateness for the library, which was a long, hard process. So anyway, thank you to Beth Kelly for all her work. It's hard
Great,
shoes to
thank you.
fill.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will request a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second,
Any further discussion? Hearing none. How do you vote? Is Mr. Nasrullah on yet? Not yet. Mr. Herr?
Or yes.
Ms. Lafreniere?
Renier, yes.
Mr. Ritterbusch?
Ritterbusch, yes.
Tedstone, yes. The board will consider affirming the town manager's appointment of Vasuda Duda, executive assistant to the town manager's office. Ethan Hart, the other person on the agenda, has decided to not accept the IT department. Mr. Khumalo.
Through you, Mr. Chair,
Knowing we're up against it. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm respectfully requesting the board affirm the town manager's appointment of Vasuda Dutta as the executive assistant in the town manager and select board office. As you know, this position requires the highest and utmost level of poise, tact, discretion in supporting the chief executive offices for the town. Vasuda comes to us through a wealth of life experiences stretching from different continents or through 2 different continents in Asia as well as here in North America. She also has worked on a temporary basis for different departments here in town, including the town clerk's office, the HR office, as well as the town manager's office. And clearly, throughout the interview process, we grilled her through 2 interview panels. The first round interview panel had the assistant town manager, Elaine Lazarus, the network systems administrator, Jay Hill, the administrative manager at the PD, Anne Marie Cordon, the facilities manager, Matt Reed, and the HR generalist, Kristen Merrill. The second round panel had John Neese, the principal assessor, Ruth Anderson, the deputy assessor, Diane Hendrickson, the assistant treasurer, Tim O'Leary, the CFO, Elaine Lazarus, the assistant town manager, HR director, Maria Casey, and the town manager. We all learned very, very clearly about Vasuda's ability to be calm, efficient, and poised in any situation and every situation that we presented during the interview. When we spoke to her references, they confirmed that she is dependable, reliable, and professional at all times, as we have experienced during her tenure here working with us on a temporary basis. And most importantly, the references also confirmed that she is always ready to go above and beyond, is entrepreneurial in her approach to work, and most importantly, she cares about people. So with that, I'm requesting the board affirm Vasuda's appointment as our next executive assistant to the town manager's office.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Khumalo. I will say that in all of my professional dealings with Ms. Duda, they have been very professional, to the point, direct, thorough. I know that one time we had a misspelling on my name and it was fixed between the time that I could walk out the front door to the time I walked out to my truck. So she ran up, fixed it, and brought another one down for me to sign. So I think you made a wonderful choice, Mr. Khumalo. And the best part about this is that this isn't somebody coming off the street. This is someone who knows this office. So she will hit the floor running. Big shoes to fill from Maria, but I think that you're definitely the right choice for the spot. So congratulations. I will request a motion to affirm town manager's appointment of Vasuda Duda, executive assistant to the town manager's office.
So moved.
Oh, second.
Okay. No further discussion. Mr.
Well,
Herr.
I just say I'm at the town hall 1 day a week. And I think Vashuda knows how I feel about her. She's very efficient. She's been very helpful. She's pleasant, she's warm, and she is just about the most perfect person I can think of to represent the town in a forward manner like that. And I just thrilled.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I could, I've had the privilege of working with a lot of folks in that position over the years. And Vasuda's got some big shoes to fill, but everything I have seen to date, she's fully capable and doing a great job at it so far. My only regret is that I won't get to work with you very much, Vasuda. I'm out. I've got 3 more weeks or so and I'm out of here. But I know you're going to do a fabulous job, and I think you're the perfect person for this job going forward. And I wish you the best of luck. Great choice, Mr. Khumalo, and congratulations, Vasuda.
Yeah, I would concur. We've had great experiences with Suda so far. And I think having someone work on a temp basis before they get hired full-time is the best way to see how someone's going to work out. So this is the first time I've seen her without a mask whenever I come to town hall to sign something. We're all masked up.
All right, so Mr. Herr, how do you vote?
Her, yes.
Ms. Lafreniere,
Frenier, yes.
Ms. Ritterbusch,
Ritterbusch, yes.
Tedstone, and enthusiastic, yes. So thank you very much, Vasuda. We very much look forward to working with you. You don't have to work with Mr. Herr, which is even nicer. So thank you and welcome, officially welcome aboard. Committee appointments, board appointments. The board will consider appointing Christian Franklin to the Capital Improvement Committee. Board members, any questions for Mr. Franklin? Looks like we have 1 person for 1 spot. No questions, so I'll request a motion to appoint Christian Franklin to the Capital Improvements Committee to a term expiring 6/30/23.
So moved.
Second,
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Herr, how do you vote?
Her, yes.
Ms. Lafreniere,
Frenier, yes.
Ritterbusch,
Ritterbusch, yes.
Tedstone, yes. Welcome aboard, Mr. Franklin. The board will review the annual town meeting warrant draft motions. The board must vote to sign the warrant tonight. We received a new draft warrant motions document today, which are posted on the online calendar listing for this meeting. Mr. Khumalo, why don't you take us through this?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. In terms of the annual town meeting, the board needs to sign the warrant tonight. It's the same warrant that the board looked at previously, and we have not received any further questions or revisions to the warrant document. And then secondly, we also posted this afternoon the most current version of the warrant and motions document. It's posted online. It's available for the public to review and offer comments. Similarly, we've been working with the respective department heads, boards and committees to make sure that the motions that finally make it into the final motions document reflect what they want to present to town meeting. We have also worked closely with town council as well as bond council to make sure that the financials are accurate.
Okay.
And thus, if the board has any questions, on the motions, feel free to reach out to us. We also wanted to point out that there are specific motions on the warrant that are moved by the select board. What we've done in the past is we present the list of the articles. They include the acceptance of town reports, the Parks and Rec revolving fund, establishing a new account, dog licensing, stormwater management and erosion control, obstruction of streets and sidewalks, street opening permits, trench safety officer bylaws. We're asking board members to identify which of these they would like to present at a town meeting. The bulk of the work is done by the chair and the town manager. However, the board has always offered other board members the opportunity to present any one of these. So Offline, the board can reach out to us and identify which ones you would prefer to speak to at town meeting. I also want to draw your attention to one other article. This afternoon, we received an update that the planning board voted to not recommend the citizen petition requiring town meeting to approve having waste at condominiums collected and paid for by the town. There's a long history behind this topic, and because it may have an impact on the town budget, I'm offering that if any board member is interested, I can work with them in terms of answering any questions that might come up at town meeting. So we have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 articles that the board members may choose from. And I'm adding this other one that the planning board has recommended that town meeting reject the request that the town pay for the collection of waste and garbage in condominiums.
Okay.
And there's a specific condominium that is mentioned in this article.
Yep.
Actually, living in a condominium and having this issue brought up for the last 43 years off and on, I could probably answer some questions to this and why it is the way it is.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can handle that at another meeting. So first of all, I'll request a motion to sign the May 8, 2021 annual town meeting warrant.
So moved.
Second,
Any further discussion?
What are the logistics on that, Mr. Khumalo?
The logistics specifically, Brandon needs to make sure that he has very strong wrist muscles. He'll be signing and initialing, how many pages, Elaine? Of
no, it's 40.
yes, and Connor, if he's online, in the past he has requested, I think, about 15 or 17 copies. I don't know.
But do
how
we
many
physically need to come to town hall to sign those?
Yes.
Tonight?
No. Within the
We
next
did-
couple of days.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we've had a motion seconded. Mr. Herr, how do you vote?
Or yes.
Ms. Lafreniere?
Renier, yes.
Ms. Ritterbusch?
Ritterbusch, yes.
Tedstone, yes. And board members, do you have any, we've had the opportunity to review the draft motions. Any questions? Or Mr. Khumalo, there's no other updates other than what you've just told us, right?
Correct.
This is not urgent, but I did just hear today that they are not making a motion for no action on the Hughes Trail one, but we had recommended it. So I don't know if we would later want to change our recommendation. If we could.
Through
I
the
don't
chair,
think,
I'll suggest that the board take the action tonight.
okay.
It's no action.
So since the petitioner has recommended no action, I would recommend that we also recommend no action.
Okay.
Is that a motion?
Sure, that's a motion.
Second.
Any further discussion?
If I may, Mr. Chair,
Yes,
the
sir.
motion will reflect that the first motion is to reconsider the board's previous vote on this article.
Mhm. Yes.
And
Okay, so the
And-
motion, I don't know the article number. Okay, number 44. Okay, I make a motion to reconsider our position on article number 44.
Second,
Mr. Herr, how do you vote?
Or yes?
Ms. Lafreniere?
Renier, yes.
Ritterbusch?
Ritterbusch, yes.
Tedstone, yes. So do we need a motion on these other 7 articles, Mr. Khumalo, or are we
Yeah.
good with that?
yeah, now we then move on to the motion on the actual article itself.
I move that we take no action on that article number, whatever it was.
Second,
Further discussion? None. Mr. Herr, how do you vote?
Or yes?
Ms. Lafreniere?
Renier, yes.
Ritterbusch?
Ritterbusch, yes.
Stone, yes.
Great.
Are we on to the special town meeting now, Mr. Khumalo?
Yeah, special town meeting. we would like the board to consider clarifying that the May 8th, 2021 special town meeting warrant closes on April 23rd, 2021.
So I will request a motion to clarify that the May 8, 2021 special town meeting warrant closes on April 23, 2021.
So moved.
Second,
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Herr,
Or yes.
Ms. Lafreniere,
In front of you, yes.
Ms. Ritterbusch,
Ritterbusch, yes. And did
Tedstone,
we just
yes.
we just made a mistake on the date?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and in fact, we should clarify too that we may ask at least 3 members to convene on the 24th, which will be a Saturday, in case any other articles come in. We will have the opportunity, therefore, to add them to the warrant. And at that same meeting, we will ask the board to sign the special town meeting warrant.
Okay.
So it's a Saturday on the 24th.
okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. Khumalo, town manager report, please.
Town manager report, Main Street Corridor project update was included in the meeting packet. The project is progressing well. I was also, in fact, today pleased to notice that Verizon has actually moved several poles. That usually happens, towards the tail end of the project. However, in this case, they are moving along the same schedule that the contractor has laid out. We also included the survey results from the all hands meeting take away project. Again, the idea then, as I explained, was the survey is experimental. Information is purely for us to reference as we prepare for town meeting. It didn't set any specific priorities for the town.
Mr. Khumalo, are you going to respond to that email about the corridor project where we're going to wrap that parking lot fully with a bigger fence?
Yes, in fact, just before the meeting started, I was on the phone with the highest ranking project manager at Amorello discussing that issue. And I've been checking my phone to see if the town's request has been granted. Again, our request is fence it around, make sure that the gate is locked at all times.
And when you say fence it around, that is a 6-foot fence all the way around the perimeter with no voids that will allow any children or adults to get into that. And the gate itself will be locked at close of business at the end of each day.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you. I know that I went up there for a little while, and then I found out afterwards that you went up there and Mr. Herr went up there, and so I don't want people to think that that these emails fall on deaf ears. But the project is going on, and I think with that, just taking care of that issue, that'll take care of a good portion of the complaints from those neighbors. Is that it for your town manager report, Mr. Khumalo?
That's it, Mr. Chair.
Liaison reports. Brian,
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Mary Jo,
Nothing right now.
Amy,
I'll just mention that EHOP is having their Know Your Vote forum on May 3rd at 7 p.m. And I believe Mr. Khumalo has already received an invitation, and Mr. Tedstone too. So just everyone can watch that at home, and panelists have been sent an email inviting them to be panelists.
yeah, I did receive that invitation. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I don't know if I'm going to be in town. But if not, I will see if my ever steady vice chair, who's not here tonight, which makes it very much easier for me to volunteer his services. So either here, I will make it. So this is what happens when you play hooky from meetings. You get volunteered for stuff.
I just wanted to add about the town manager's report, if I could. So we definitely have, I want to acknowledge that we've received a lot of emails about the Main Street Corridor project, and I appreciate the town staff for replying to all the residents and trying to work these issues out. But it is disappointing that so many people have had issues so far. But
So
I'm
can
glad
I
they're getting
jump
worked
in?
out. Yeah.
Amy, I think it's important that we be very clear about this, though. Our role is to enforce, follow, and encourage the general will of the community to move forward. The general will of the community was established on December 9th, 2019. We have to follow that directive from town meeting and build the project. There's 18,000 people that we represent. The 18,000 is the general will of the community. 20 people is not the general will of the community. And we can't let them derail this project, as some have clearly tried in recent weeks. That's not fair to the rest of the town.
Thank you, Mr. Herr. I fully expect to get another 50 emails tomorrow. Future board agenda items.
Okay, I have one. I'd like the board to talk about our mail. I've had a couple of complaints that people have sent us letters and have not heard anything back from the select board. And then now we have a letter today from Mrs. Karnofsky. Even if we just let them know at our meeting that we're taking it under advisement or that we have received it, I think would be a good idea in the future.
Okay.
Are those letters specific to the project, Mary Jo, or are those different letters?
No, we're not talking about the downtown project. We're just talking about letters to the select board. Yeah, in fact, one of them, Mrs. Karnofsky's is about the land off of Franklin Street. And I think I got another complaint from Mariana that she didn't hear anything at all from a letter she wrote a couple of months ago, and somebody else. So I just think that we ought to list our mail, that we've gotten the mail.
Well, we do that in the agenda packet, and it's the town manager's office's responsibility to get back to folks on day-to-day operational issues. The board's not by charter charged with being involved in that stuff. That's one of the challenges we have, and it's like with the corridor project and everything else, where we're going beyond the board's role in some of these matters, and it's causing issues for the town as a whole as a result of that. When you give people false hope in these processes of the democratic, deliberation, false hope is not helping move the project or the process or the town forward. And I think sometimes recently we've been giving out some false hope about certain situations that are going to get corrected when that's not the case, and the general will is not supportive of that either. And I'm just really concerned about the false hope that we're putting out there. And when we involve ourselves in the day-to-day operations of the town, we're creating false hope for residents. It's not fair to them. They may not like that answer, but we're not being fair to them when we give them false hope either.
Oh, you're muted, Mary Jo.
Mary Jo, you are on mute. But that was one of your most exhilarating speeches yet.
No, but that's probably a good thing. I mean, I'm not suggesting that we answer these letters at a board meeting, but I mean, these people just said they never got any acknowledgement whatsoever of sending the letter in. So maybe we should just list the mail or something when we get individual letters that we have received them, period. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Just some kind of reply that acknowledging that we received it and we read it. Yeah.
And they're
Not from
under advisement, that's all, and then Norman can, I'm just looking for a suggestion here, how to answer these people.
Yeah, through the chair. Thank you, Mary Jo, for pointing this out. I'll follow up with you tomorrow morning, specifically with regard to, I didn't hear the second person who believes that their letter got here and it was never responded to. We always want to respond to letters coming to the office.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Khumalo, that is your office's responsibility, correct?
Correct.
So if the citizen's not getting a response on a day-to-day operational matter, the town manager's office needs to be notified of that. And, we need to hold the town manager's office accountable to make those things happen. But where I'm very concerned is that we're starting to get into the weeds on a lot of things where we don't belong. And that is going to set the board and the town up for a lot of struggles going forward if we're not careful. That's my overarching kind of comment tonight. I know I'm on my soapbox, but I only got a couple weeks left, and I would like to leave us going in the right direction. And if we're going to get into the weeds about where we put pipe on the street or where we put toilet paper on the street or whatever else that people want to argue about, that is a really slippery slope for this board of selectmen.
Well, I'm not suggesting at all that we answer at a board meeting. just that we acknowledge.
But I think, the citizens have to hear that difficult message that you can write as many emails as you want. We're not going to change certain things operationally about what the town has decided to do. And when we give them false hope that we are going to do something, that's where the problem lies. And that's what I'm very concerned about going forward.
Yeah, and I also, to Mr. Hurst's point, I think that it does set up, if and that was one of the things when there was a sensitive issue that I wasn't putting on the agenda earlier this year. So it wasn't, so our goal, our objective is to set precedent, set policy for the town and not get into day-to-day operations. And to do what's right for the majority of the town. I just wonder if some of the people that are having these complaints about a porta potty in the center of town, if they want it moved to the snow dump, so you don't see a porta potty in the center of town, well, it's gonna adversely affect many more people. And the same thing with this Marshall Ave lot. If they moved it to the snow dump, it will alleviate the three direct neighbors next to it, their concerns. But what about the people now, as a front end loader has to go down to the snow dump from 85 Main Street to get a pallet of pipe at 8:30 in the morning, and when they come up Cedar Street Hill with that pallet of pipe, they're doing 2 miles an hour. There's going to be 150 cars behind there, and that's going to delay 150 people by 45 minutes, 15 times a day. So yes, I'm cognizant that I'm aware that the Marshall Ave people are upset with how things are there, but this isn't about Marshall Ave. This is about the good of the town and what's right for the town. And by using that Marshall Ave lot, it's going to lessen the amount of time that the disruption is going to be in this Main Street corridor. And it's going to much lessen. What?
I just want to say, none of the letters I'm talking about had anything to do with the Main Street corridor at all. They were other.
Yeah, I'm speaking about
long-term issues that could be passed on to the planning board or sent in another direction. They weren't complaints. They were like requests or people's opinion. That's all they were. They had nothing at all.
So Mary Jo, I don't know if you checked
the downtown corridor.
Mary Jo, I don't know if you checked your email today or not, but we got about 50 emails from the people on Marshall Ave.
No, I didn't do that today.
That's what my.
It wasn't an email. These were letters.
Okay, I'm speaking about the email, the 50 or 40 or 50 or so emails that we got today from Marshall Ave. So
yeah,
It's not just the emails, Mr. Chair, that I have concerns about. It's also this notion that we're supposed to be participating in Facebook debate about town governance. Absolutely not, in my opinion, as one member of this board, should we be participating in Facebook debate about the town of Hopkinton governance. This is where we govern in Hopkinton and at town meeting, just like we governed a town meeting in December 9th of 2019 about the Main Street Corridor project. That is how we conduct our governance. That is how we make decisions. And that is how we move forward as a community. But when we go back and we start throwing false hope out there that we're going to figure something else out, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to constantly listen and listen. All folks are trying to do right now is to derail some of this. And we can't provide false hope. And we sure as heck can't do it on Facebook.
Okay. So,
no problem with that.
so Mary Jo, thank you for your future board agenda item. Brian or Amy, anything else?
No, I'll just agree with Mary Jo that I think it is good that we always reply, and that she stated that. And I have received occasionally from people not about this topic saying that they didn't get a reply. So I always find it super helpful when the town staff does copy us on the reply, and then we're, if someone mentions it to us in the grocery store, we can be sure to say, to acknowledge that we got it too. So.
Okay. All right, so I'll request a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Herr?
Or yes.
Mr. Frenier?
Yes.
Ms. Ritterbusch?
Ritterbusch, yes.
Tedstone, yes. Good night.
Good night.